think the schedule will be up at 12:30. I can't remember. If people show, they show. If they don't, they don't. I should really let people know before I do this. I don't care. People should. It is what it is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Normally, I wouldn't do a weird case like cases like this, but it kind of sets the stage for the next story. So I kind of had to tell it real quick. Of course, I'm gonna wait a few minutes in case anybody else shows up. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Well, hello there, partner. How you doing tonight? I know this seems kind of random, but it actually has something to do with the next case I'm covering, so I kind of had to throw this in there. I felt like because in the going through that case, I felt like I almost found a unicorn in true crime, and it's like rare, really rare. So I thought to myself, I'm like, how many guys can I think of that kind of fit that same? Well, not even guys, just people could fit that same like how do I put it? I don't know, nearly unicorn status. And once I got to like, I don't know, 3 or 4 names, I was like, shit, I can do a little thing real quick and cover this and then jump right into that. Hope you're doing well. I'm not sure if the audio sounds all right or whatever, but I'm sure somebody will let me know. Well, um, the theory behind, or the idea behind Dexter is basically at least for the longest time, he was a serial killer who would kill killers, other serial killers, bad people. So, because most of the time, there's only two things that killers basically kill for, mostly at least, like a very high 80s, 90s% probably, and that is, is it two or is it three actually? I guess I mean, I guess you can say three. Because oh, it definitely is. And I'm going to talk about that guy, but not a ton about that guy because that guy has done so much bad. He's like a mix between the two, to be honest with you. Because there is a American, but then there is also another gentleman from gentleman. Yeah, there's another dude from the another country that also fits the rap in its own way. He's kind of like a combination. Basically, yeah, it's just a serial killer who targets bad people as a way to justify what they're doing, I guess, or like I did this because they was killing other people and stuff, so it's okay. Which honestly leaves you with a very slippery slope at the end of the day. I mean, sure, I can't say I bitch too much if we ever found a serial killer that targeted nothing but pedophiles. But I know we have killers that did in fact target a pedophile and kill them, which is fact, but they weren't serial killers. Then we do have, how do I put it? Oh, I'm trying to remember who that person was. Oh, we have a guy a single guy at least. There might be a few more if I had looked a little bit more carefully. Who didn't kill anybody, but I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, he beat two pedophiles damn near almost to death, but they survived. Exactly. I mean, that gets a little bit of toss up because then you got those creepy nurse and doctor serial killers. They call them either I think they're called like angels of death or some shit. That swear up and down they only killed their victims because the victims were suffering in the first place. And then you got someone, and there was like phew, a lot of those. But then you got Kevorkian for of all people. He basically let everybody know what he was doing, and he just kept on doing it. And it kind of seems a little bit odd that Kevorkian, I think he did he ever get arrested? I think he did finally at some point. But now I think in Canada you can just have it legally done. Last time I heard, and I mean, yeah, I think they were not executing, but killing off people just with bad depression and shit. As long as you were somewhat, I forget what the details that they have to have in Canada, but I'm pretty sure that legalized taking your own life uh, with doctor's help is illegal now. So yeah, for right now, we're not going to count in the old doctors and nurses and stuff like that that do it for supposedly messed up reasons, aka BS. And well, then believe Korborki because honestly, he probably deserves his own episode. But I wouldn't really say that because even the people on this list I'm going to throw out there tonight, it's a safe assumption that they all know that they're doing something wrong. So even though their victim targets are more, I guess, justifiable, I don't know what you would call it, but it's still pretty obvious that they might have just been probably wanting to play God or something like that, or take out their abuse that they received as children, or this, that, and the other. But yeah, I think in other countries there's also a few hitmen that would also fall on this list. And there's yeah, when you count in mobs, mobsters, mafia, and gangbangers, you're gonna start finding a ton of these people. And I don't know, it's just not. Or yeah, I guess a serial killer that technically didn't do any wrong. Yeah, becomes threat. That's when the problem, lies. And oddly enough, there was a case very recently that a trial just finished that involved. I'm not going to say he was justified with his actions. I'm not going to say he was righteous or anything. Uh, but he did indeed kill people that apparently, well, the story behind the one is just I've never heard before. I've never heard this ever, really, that I can remember. So the fact that I read it and I was like, holy crap, that's a first. But yeah, I'll throw it out there. Have you ever heard of a victim or a victim's family member that during the course of a trial actually told the soon to be convicted, well, already convicted serial killer, mind you, thank you, and that these two of the people that he had killed, at least for sure, was pieces of shit, more or less, if you want to break it down. And they were no good and deserved, and kind of basically deserved what they got. When I saw that, I was like, That's pretty new. I mean, I've never heard of somebody in a victim's family, especially in regards to a serial killer. I don't know about the other killers that actually hopped up there to give a victim impact statement just to tell the killer, "Thank you, you did a good job." So you can see why I was just like, oh wait, I got to talk about this shit. And I guess the two people that I call the most influential when it in regards to Dexter Morgan from the show Dexter, um, as I said, an American and a somebody from another country. And technically, this goes right along with my crazy Florida cases bullshit kind of thing series, because basically, one of the said Dexter killers was in fact technically he was a very soon before former police officer. I mean, he basically got fired and then soon after started killing people. So, eh. But when certain jobs always tell you the phrase, "Once you're in this, you're always in this." So former fireman will always say, "Oh, he's still a fireman, retired or not," blah blah blah. Or once a cop, always a cop. Once a marine, always a marine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Especially in the military. Holy crap, I hear that phrase a lot. Which I get it. I get it. Military is probably a step up from a regular occupation. So. Hmm. I don't know. It was life was at a bad time. No biggie. Might as well start with the first one. Let me see. I got some one. Ain't here, ain't here. But the first one is covered by the whole bad cop, mainly out of Florida, because as I said before in the other episodes of this, that every person that's covered in the series is basically a cop or a former cop, and yeah, there's a bunch of them. And in Florida, I think the last count I had was 10 or 12 former or active police officers who, in fact, were allegedly serial killers. Yeah, I figured it. It's probably best to start it with the most impactful ones. And sure enough, one of the serial killers on this list, yes, very, very, very soon. I think it was a matter of 8 months or so before or after he got fired, or less. He already had two murders. But as with everything else involving these serial killers, not everything is always as it seems. And Mr. Honorable, or honorables actually, since most of them, a couple of these on this list, yeah, will be considered pretty shitty people. And yes, the victims were not good people either. But yeah, you'll find out that there was more actual reasons, aka to cover the cop's ass, or just so he doesn't get in trouble with the police. Racism in the series, yeah. I haven't done that episode yet. There's one that was just straight up racist. I think. Don't know. He's still free. But I guess we can start with him. Yeah, there was a cop in Miami, Florida, of all places, or at least around there, if I remember correctly. His name was Manuel Pardo, and I'm pretty sure he's like Cuban American, or just Cuban or something. But he ended up getting fired after quite a decent, chunk of career with multiple police agencies, and was on a second or third different agency, maybe more, when he got fired for the last time. And I think, pretty sure it was for things like bad arrest, roughing up suspects, all this other stuff. A lot of physical, really bad stuff. And so he went around, and his problem always seemed to be with criminals. He would go to the worst like ghettos of the area and shit, and target specific criminals. Like you would hear of if you ever saw The Wire, there's that one dude that always seems to kill, or at least he robs everybody, and then sometimes only kills them. But probably the best one of the best characters in the series. And basically, he killed the guy that he bought silencers from because he was afraid, that he was going to snitch to the cops because the dude was in some trouble, I guess. And just generally bad people. And well, yeah, I'm gonna make that clear. He didn't feel like he was justified. He knew he was doing something wrong, and it was more like a reason to cover his own ass or monetary gain. And that's one of the other, yeah, mm, yeah, covering your own ass, um, sexual reasons. I don't need to explain further. I hope. And plain on simple, um, money. Yeah, money to keep your own ass out of the fire. Like there's suspects that didn't want to kill anybody, but they killed somebody just to make sure that they couldn't tell the cops later on. There's a lot of those because often someone like a pedophile or somebody like that will worry that if they let this victim go because they've probably been arrested and convicted earlier on for like essays and stuff like that, considering the same type of victim. Or well, some people would rather die than being labeled a pedophile by the government because you got to go jump through a lot of hoops once that happens. You have to put on yourself on a list. Every time you move, you have to like notify them of where and all this other crap, get permission. Which honestly, I feel is totally 1,000% justified. In fact, I believe all pedophiles should be tossed in a massive wood chipper, right? That sits on an island like fucking Alcatraz. Seriously, vote me for president. I'll make it happen. That's the only thing I'm doing. I'm gonna sit on my ass the other 4 years, just to let you know. Uh, I'm gonna turn an island, or at least the whole top of it, into a customized wood chipper, and then televise when the helicopters go flying in. And just like the water you see being tossed on forest fires, right? They're gonna televise pedophiles being dropped from the helicopters. We're gonna get a few hang-ons, that somehow find a way to grip onto something so they're gonna dangle there for a few. But I'm telling you, it's gonna be some, yeah, it's a double one. And yeah, sounds like a good idea. But yeah, Manuel Pardo, he had just been fired as a police officer. He's running around, he's killing like drug dealers and gun sellers and shit like that. And he attacks up like 9 bodies before he's caught. I do believe he was sentenced to be executed because, I did check the date of his death, and compared to his, when he was born, it just, yeah, it self explains itself when it's only like 40 something years or so. And then you got people like, is it Manuel or Rafael Filippo? I can't remember. It's one of those two. And what this dude did, basically, he was raped and all kinds of shit as a little kid. And, yeah, not much. Okay. Over a long period of time, once he started hitting his like 20s or so, his girlfriend was murdered by gang members, I think, in SA too. I'm not sure about the SA, but I'm pretty sure that I know about the murder. So he went off and started with basically, if I remember right, he killed at least 2 of these gang members that killed his girlfriend first off. So after that, you're like, eh. And I think it was over about nearly 15, 20 years, probably, maybe a little bit more. I mean, technically, if he's still alive, I can't remember if I checked that or not, but he could be still doing it for all we know. He's in a different country. I think it's like Peru or some shit. And he's been running around killing these bad killers and horrible gangbangers and all these fucked up people. Now this one is weird because it depends on how you think about people that literally probably killed other people, raped kids, stuff like that. Really bad shit. And he did this all the way out in person. And then when they locked him up, because he's in jail now, you just wait place to find people that's suitable enough for you to off. And Filippo, believe it or not, he is the main. Well, I want to say half and half. Manuel Pardo uh, was the first one, half of it, of what you would call Dexter, and Pedro. That may be Pedro, but Filippo was definitely the second one because they even had interviews and shit. You can find them on YouTube, honestly. I'd rather not play footage because people start to freak out, report your video, do all sorts of crazy stuff around here. But Filippo did a massive media coverage interview while still in prison, bragging about who he killed and why. But then, mind you, very very quickly, right after Filippo let everybody know that these victims, I think he was like at around 50 or so too. Like he killed a lot of people. But yeah, he was just in there bragging about it like it was a kid. But these people couldn't defend themselves, and it's not like they were doing any harm or non-violent criminals, as you would say. So that's where the problem starts. What's really a bad guy and what's worth being a vigilante to? That's maybe the toss up here. Oh, this is sad because I know what I'm doing there. But yeah, it's always great when the fans show up. You know what I'm saying? We got people people like Whitey Bulger when it comes to fucking killers and shit that basically target bad guys. Then you got people like the Alaskan Avenger. He was the one I think that attacked two pedophiles in their homes because he used the registered sex offenders list too, mind you. Did y'all hear what I said just now? Or no? I can never tell if I change tabs if somebody hears it or not. Well, I was saying, I forgot his name, but they call him the Alaskan Avenger. Basically, he used the registered sex offenders list to track down two pedophiles. Yeah, yeah, two pedophiles. And he damn nearly beat both of them to death with a hammer. But sadly, sadly, they both survived. Ain't that about a bitch, right? And last time I knew, I'm not sure if it's up to date or anything, but and this was in Alaska. He was let out of prison. Um, I think it's a channel on here called JD Delay, and he's actually got his own YouTube channel where, yes, he damn near killed two pedophiles with a sledgehammer or no, it was a hammer of some sort. But yeah, he nearly beat both of them to death. Sometimes I kind of wish that happened to idiots. Yeah, I think some of these people's parents should have just reached out and slapped the shit out of them when they were fucking young. It is what it is. Be right back. What did I tell you guys? At least make it amusing. Only an idiot would try to troll a troll. Fucking moron. But yeah, check this out. And then I guess I don't know. I got to find out more about the victim that he was convicted for, but I couldn't remember the guy's name, so I had to go look real quick. But out of California, there was a guy named Jonathan Watson. Now, Jonathan was already put in prison for at least one murder, which often can also mean that they've probably been arrested for all kinds of different things. And while he was locked up in prison, since he had been SA'd and used and shit as a kid himself, you like to drink enema? Cool. But yeah, while he's locked up in prison, Jonathan Watson proceeds to murder two different pedophiles. But yeah, I don't know, just saying it like it is, home slash. I don't see what he did was entirely not very wrong at all, actually, because I see no difference in beating them, choking them out with a cane myself, or dropping a pile of them on top of a massive wood chipper island and seeing them grind it up. The point is, somebody took care of the job, right? Right. I don't see that as a loss, to be honest. I'm really awesomely happy that you guys are all fans so much that you got to come here, by the way. It's either that or do I have some scary things to say that you don't want, or somebody that doesn't want you to talk? Some people want me to shut up, apparently. I would hope Really hope that wouldn't be the case. What is with Adam lately? He's not picking on old men and normal stuff. Which, mind you, bro, you sucked at. Because only you would make fun of somebody. And out of the two people that do that show, you not go after this RSO. Tell me how that fucking works. I mean, if you're gonna troll somebody out of those two, come on. The pedophile would fucking be the. You would think that'd be the best option, wouldn't it? No, he goes after the old guy with the titty fetish, right? You know how it goes. Got to mess with the old guy because you think he got a titty fetish. Seriously. And he's told me a million times, no, it wasn't mine. Okay, bro. For shits and giggles, we'll say it's not yours. That's fine. I don't give a fuck. But let me tell you, even if it was, man, I ain't kink shaming nobody. Shit, that's a dick move. Now, pedophile, woo, that's a whole difference. You can't clinically fix that. So why, for God's sakes, on a show that has two people on it, do you not go after the pedophile? I mean, is it too low-lying fruit or whatever? Maybe you got issues with titties or something. Hmm. Oh, I'd like to believe they don't make a profile at all that would describe me. And no, 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 that wouldn't work. It's just not my style in the first place. Unlike a serial killer is someone who's like quiet, stealthy, doing shit behind the scenes at night, blah 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 blah, just to make sure that they're never caught. If I ever get to the point that I'm gonna literally start offing bad people, which honestly would be the most likely victims and all that, I'm not even gonna lie to you. That made sense once I saw that. I was like, okay, well, I can see that. But I was like, hmm. But yeah, just leave the pedophile alone. What's up with that? Whole world would like to know. Or just don't understand what the hell I just said, and basically because they had no idea, because they weren't around to know about all these little magical facts. No, I don't sound like a typical serial killer. That just shows what you don't know about me. I need to teach y'all apparently about actual fucking profiling and shit. Jesus Christ. For one, you can't even make a logical legal profile until when? Until they find a body. No body, no crime. You're only a killer or a criminal once you were labeled as a fucking criminal. Where you at, Adam? You drank too much of that enema fluid shit? But yeah, that's a very question I would like to know. Why does one not go after the pedophile? Well, I mean, convicted. Hmm. Says everything I need to know. This motherfucker don't mean know me a single bit now, does he? Hmm. Do you actually honestly think I need anybody in here to defend me? I literally run around telling people I'm the fucking devil. And honestly, my friends talk meaner to me than yo ass does, so how the hell am I supposed to take this as a troll in the first place? Kind of sounds like you trying to make friends. I mean, really, you should talk to Dan sometime. He'll call you a racial slur, call you a homophobic slur, then he'll call you discriminatory by a religion slur after that. And that's just saying hi. Hell, I could show you an entire Discord where fucking it's like a troll breeding ground, man. Motherfuckers just smack that fool, and everybody on the damn Delphi case that has any ability to troll in them was or is still a member of that Discord. One on my wood, you have claimed me. I hope you're at least attractive. I mean, since the rate of true crime in this fucking community is like, I don't know, 80% men, or no, 80% women to 20% men. Oh, well, trust me. Yeah, she's more likely to fuck you up just because you was talking shit. It don't matter if it came from me or not, or anything to do with me. And you're probably picking one of the worst ones to ever think somebody would actually defend me. Sorry, I'm watching. My bad. The game is called How Long Till Fish Uses Her Wrench. Sorry, I smoked a blunt right before the live, and yeah, I'm getting a kick out of this. Oh, come on, don't be wuss. Serious, you can't be that nice. Come on, fishy. Dog, this is my chat, man. If you've been here a couple of times, you got a fucking wrench. The fact you don't have one, well, that just means you ain't shit. And I got all the time in the world. I'm high as shit. You know, I can sit back and just fucking, yeah. But yeah, really, you can ask your buddy, Adam Riley, why he decides not to go after pedophiles. That'd be the fun question right there. If you weren't, hey, let me ask you a question. Do that wherever you happen to be. She's a lot more calmer than I am. If she was going to ban your ass, I'd have done it a long time before that. Because fish don't give a fuck. Straight up. But don't do this half nice, half like fucking rude trolley thingy that's like I don't know, pretty lame. I think they're trying to be like me. Your skills off though. It looks like your skills off. If you'd like, one day I can actually sit there and teach you and all that stuff. Yeah, you got to get the whole dark, demented, and menacing on the one side, and then the charming, lovable, fucking not such a bad person on the other side. You know, that's how it should be. Yeah, Watson killed two pedophiles, and that's why he was on already on a life sentence for a 2009 murder conviction. All right, like I was saying, um, there might have been one or two more that I was going to bring up, but I'm going to be streaming the live pretty soon. Probably within like 45 minutes or so, concerning a recent case that involved the child of basically, you can actually say two serial killers, I guess, but once again, it depends on your definition of a killer or a criminal. So, yeah. But yeah, we're just gonna take a small break in the middle of it, and then I'll be back. By then, I should have any of the former ones or whatever that I was talking about in mind again. All right. Peace.